Hello and welcome to episode 56 of the What Shara Made podcast. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer, and a big hello if this is your very first episode of the What Shara Made podcast. I've got a couple of whips and I've really only got one whip. And I've got a couple, I've got two. One's not knitting though. And I've got a couple of FOs. I think it's only going to be a short episode today, but that's okay. It's an episode. I might dive straight into my one and only knitting whip because it's really small, so it won't take long. You might remember from the last episode, I showed you a design whip that I was working on, and it was a shawl that I'm working on, and it looked sort of like this. Oh wait, I've got myself a little bit tangled here. So it sort of looked like this, but it was a bit bigger the last time I showed you. That's interesting, it's shrunk. That is because I changed my mind on a few of the design aspects last time. So I unravelled it and I started it again, and I unravelled it and started it again, and unravelled it and started it again. Many times, and now I've just started it again, and about 5 minutes ago I realised I'm probably going to have to bring it back to loose air because I've made a mistake. Well, not a mistake, but I want to change something. So here we go. It's only tiny, but you get the idea. It's going to keep growing in this manner. You can see something's weird there. I need to change whatever that is. Don't even know what that is, so it needs changing. What is that? Now that I'm looking on there, I'm like, what are you? And that's that little thing. I can't wait to just sit down and work on it. Once I've done the first repeat, it's actually, now that I've figured this bit out, I think I'm kind of going to be on a roll. So I think, knock on wood. It's actually really simple, and once this repeat's done, I should just be able to keep going, and so I won't have to keep on stopping and writing, knit right, knit right, because I'm writing the pattern as I'm knitting it. And as I talked about in the last episode, it's quite a tedious, slow process to knit a few stitches, write that bit down, knit a few stitches, write that bit down. And of course sometimes I can just knit a whole row, write that down, but I don't want to knit a couple of rows and then think I can just remember that and write it down, because what happens is you miss a little step that you are so familiar with because you're doing it all the time, that then when someone else comes to do it, they don't know that step that you're completely familiar with, and it really needs to be written down. So yeah, I like to knit right when I'm doing that bit. So that's all I've got so far, and I cannot wait to just sit down and knit it because it's actually really fun. And every time I do a little bit and it works, I'm like, yes. And I had actually kept going on the other one for quite a way, and I was starting to really like it. But there are a few things that I only half liked, and then last night I was laying in bed and I had this complete epiphany about how to change a couple of things that were the things I only kind of half liked, and I tried those this morning and now I fully like them. So I changed them, they worked just like I imagined they would, and now I'm on the right track, I believe. I fixed the tight edge that was over here, and I fixed the strangeness that was happening in my leaves over here, where they were sort of going long and pulling in and poking out, rather than just sitting nice and making the nice shape without me having to spread them out manually, which I thought blocking would help, but I don't think the blocking was going to help at all. So I believe I've amended that issue. Fingers crossed. Once I've got a few more repeats done, that should be evident whether that's been fixed or not. But I'm pretty sure, pretty confident at this stage that that has been amended. So that's that little design process. But I thought what I would show you is my little swatch that's been going along at the same time. It's been working alongside that little design swatch. A couple of times on the podcast I've shown my little design processes as I've been working them, and had a really lovely response from viewers about my design processes. So I thought I'd show a few more. This one's pretty funny. Well, I think it's funny. Now, this is in itself isn't a design. This is just a little swatch that's got a bunch of designs in it. And this is a little thing that I've had going for a little while. And every time I get an idea, I think, oh, and I grab this little swatch and I try it out and think, oh, that didn't work. But I don't undo it. I keep them, and it's like a little log of my little ideas. And sometimes something that didn't work for one idea is a workable idea for another piece. So here's this funny little, what is that? I don't know, it isn't anything, it's just a swatch. But you can see here, this leaf here worked much better than my original leaf if you refer to the previous episode. And you can see here my dots in my ribs. This is another idea that's coming along. I want to make my polka dots in my brioche. That's another idea that's coming in the future. You can see it from this side as well. There is a new and improved version of this, because you can see that looks a little bit strange and not quite like a dot. You can see some other little sort of tulipy shapes here that have come along. And the leaf from reverse. And my other polka dot version that is here. This is another idea that's coming along, and there's a bit of a wonky face just coincidentally happening in there. But this is my little swatch that sits next to me while I'm doing other design work, and whenever I think of something, this just gets picked up and I try it out on here to see if the idea will work. So this is my funny little brioche swatch, where ideas work and don't work. So that is my one and only whip, knitting whip, that I've actually worked on in the past little while. Not much progress has happened on anything else. My other whip that has had a bit of work on it isn't a knitting whip, it's a sewing whip, and it's not a machine sewing whip, it's a hand sewing whip. So you know that this year I have learned the skill of quilting, or patchwork, machine quilting and patchwork, but I've also just gotten back into hand sewing, hand patchwork, anyway, English paper piecing, and this is my first little piece. I'll bring it up closer so you can see this little guy in the middle. It's a little sheepy. So, I'm now just struggling to think of the name of that fabric. Something about Dickens? Sweet Dickens, or I'm sure one of you will recognise it. If I can find the fabric before I publish this, I'll put it down the bottom. Anyway, it's really cute. I've got a few bits of fabric from that series and they're quite adorable. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this piece, but I think my plan for it is to make it into a project bag. It seems appropriate with a little sheep on it. I don't know whether I'll do another piece for the other side of the bag. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. Looks like there's an earthquake. There's not. It is very, very windy outside, but there's not an earthquake. So I don't know whether I'll do another one of these for the other side of the bag or if I'll continue out and make it a bit more square. I'm not entirely sure what I'll do yet, but this is the piece I've got. You can see the back. And I thoroughly enjoyed this. It was nowhere near as complicated as I thought it was going to be, and it was actually quite quick. It didn't take me very long at all to do this. I love hand sewing, and I found the process really simple. I was looking at things online just to get some hints and tips, and I read all these things about people saying it was complicated and tedious and time consuming, and then when I did it and I didn't find any of those things, I thought maybe I am not doing it right. But I am doing it right, and I just didn't find it tedious or time consuming or any of those things. I found it really relaxing and lovely. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to do more. Just sitting down and relaxedly. There's Rosie. She loves being on the podcast, even as just a audio piece. Yeah, I really enjoyed sitting down on the couch and just putting my little pieces together, and I love putting all the fabrics together and deciding which thing will go with which, and doing some little drawings and layouts to see what shapes and colours might go well together. So I'm looking forward to doing a few more of these, and I think I've got an idea and some fabric plans out of my fabric stash to maybe make even a small quilt. Maybe after I've made a quilt, I may find it a bit time consuming and a bit tedious. To be honest, I don't think it was even that much more time consuming and tedious than machine quilting something of the same nature. So yeah, by the time I got my sewing machine out and all the other accoutrements that go along with that, it would have taken me the same amount of time. So yeah, I thought this was a lot of fun and I cannot wait to do more. So that's my English paper piecing hand sewn patchwork hexagons. Really enjoyed that. Love it. Maybe it's called Sweet Dickens. Did I say that? Sweet Little Dickens, the fabric thing? I don't know. I have no idea what series that's from, and I don't know what that is either. That's been in my stash forever, and that's from my local yarn store. They also sell fabric. And I've had it for a really, really long time, several years, and I don't know what it's from either. I've still got a fair bit of it left though, so I'll see if I can find out, just in case someone's interested. But that one, yeah, that's a more recent, may even have been released this year, this series. It seems to still be available online, so pretty cute. I love it. Now, in the last podcast episode, I did talk about this sweater that I'm wearing, and I was a bit concerned about the fit, and it's not too bad. I mean, you can see that my underarms are there, and it's a bit sort of webbed. That's where my underarms are, and that's where the... And it would be better if it was a bit more like that, but never mind. The fit is the fit. It did grow significantly in the blocking process, and it only grew that way. It did not grow that way. It didn't shrink that way at all, which is good, but it did grow significantly long ways. So the sleeves they probably ended up a good 6 or 7 inches longer than when I finished the cardigan pre-blocking, and the body and the yoke and everything grew accordingly as well. But it's still wearable, as you can see. I am presently wearing it. So this is me wearing it. I don't hate it as much now that I've been wearing it around. In fact, I don't hate it at all, but I only kind of half love it at this stage, but it's growing on me. It is a tiny bit itchy, which is really saying something for me, because I very rarely find wool itchy. In fact, I quite like the feel of wool, even really bitey wool that other normal people would find itchy. I don't mind that kind of wool at all, but this one I do find a little bit itchy, which is very unusual. So that is interesting that I find this itchy. And you can also see some rather interesting pulling on the sleeves, but never mind. And clearly I did not alternate skeins. There was no way I was going to be doing that and trying to figure out a pleasant way of doing that in brioche in the round on a sweater that I wanted to be reversible. No thanks, not doing that. So I just have to live with the pooling, which is okay. I don't hate pooling. It doesn't worry me at all, actually. But it's interesting, and it's interesting that it's sort of relatively in the same spot on the sleeves, but that's cool. Still in love with the shaping. I really enjoy that shaping. Really good. It's still not quite showing up accurate colour wise. It's a little better on the screen today than it has been in the past. The actual overalls that I'm wearing with it are overalls that I've made. I made them yonks ago. Not last year, but the year before, maybe. Yeah. From a Marilla Walker pattern called from the Roberts collection. It's actually a really cool pattern. I did have to alter it a bit because they're designed to be very a very relaxed fit, which just means incredibly loose. But they just because I'm quite short, the incredibly loose fit on me just I'm not used to really wearing very loose fitting clothing, so to me it felt very strange to wear something so loose fitting, and it just looked strange. I just looked like I was wearing a circus tent with straps on it. So I did alter it a little bit to sort of make it a bit more tailored, and they look reasonably flattering and less tent-esque. And they sort of look a bit like, do you know the show Land Girls? It's older, and it's probably from the early 2000s, maybe it was made? Late 90s? Not even sure when it was made, but great show. Anyway, if you're familiar with that show, the style of these overalls, you can't really see the bottom part of it. You've got like, I don't know, it's hard to show the rest of it. But anyway, they're sort of now that I've tailored them a bit, they're kind of a 1940s sort of style ladies overalls, dungarees, and they're pretty cute. I really enjoy wearing them. And they weren't difficult to make. A few little bits in the instructions could have been slightly clearer, but now that I've made one pair, I think I could definitely very easily make another pair in at least half the time that it took me to make this pair. And I often see other women around wearing these overalls that they've made, and I recognise the pattern straight away. Well, not often, but I have seen maybe a dozen pairs of these getting around Melbourne. I actually saw a couple of pairs at the Australian Sheep and Wool Show on clever ladies who'd handmade their own overalls. I thought, nice work. But I was too shy to go up and say, love your overalls, but I should have, because that's nice. But I was too shy. So I think this sweater works well with my handmade Roberts collection dungarees and my farmer's hair. But anyway, so that's those FOs. Now, I've got an FO to talk about that I don't have with me, and I'll put up a picture of them here. So those are my socks that I would have shown you a few times in previous episodes that I was working on, and they were my travel project that I had been keeping in my bag, taking around with me everywhere I went. And I finished them just in time to wear them to the Sheep and Wool Show. And they are made using self-striping yarn by Shara Made, who is a Victorian hand dyer from Gippsland, which is in East Victoria, where quite a few of my relatives live, and my parents are down there visiting my relatives right now, actually. And that yarn, that self-striping yarn, amazing. And you can find Shara Made on Etsy, and I highly recommend her self-striping yarn. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I've got 2 more balls of that self-striping yarn and I cannot wait to cast them on. Oh my god, they're so nice to use. But I do not have those socks with me because a few weeks ago my sister got married, and when I was staying, on the night before the wedding, I went and stayed at her house with her to help her get ready for the wedding. And she had a foster dog called Franklin, who's a little bit naughty, adorable, but a bit naughty. And he has a bad habit of stealing things, and you have to keep all the doors closed to all the bedrooms so he doesn't steal things. And on the morning of the wedding, the weather was a bit crazy, and I had taken my freshly made self-striping socks with me, and I thought, yeah, while we're getting ready for the wedding, I'm going to wear my brand new socks that I've finished, and it's going to be so nice. I love them. Before I had gotten ready for the wedding, that's what I was going to wear. And when I woke up that morning, I was standing in the bedroom door talking to my sister, and I was standing in the doorway so that Franklin, the naughty foster dog, wouldn't go in the bedroom while I was talking to my sister and steal anything. And anyway, I finished talking to my sister, went back into the bedroom to get dressed, put my hand knit socks on, and thought, where are my hand knit socks? I just had them. And anyway, I looked everywhere, pulled the room apart, couldn't find them. I'm like, what the? I just had them in my hand. Anyway, looked outside, and there they were outside, and he had taken them outside and weed on them. Very unimpressed. So then I did not get to wear my new socks. So they had a soak and a wash, and I'm waiting for them to be returned to me. So I'm very unimpressed. depressed about that. So anyway, I didn't get to wear those, but the wedding went well. The wedding was actually really, really beautiful. Congratulations to Jane and Helen. My sister looked gorgeous and her husband looked gorgeous, and my sister's little boy, my nephew, looked gorgeous as well. And I thought I'd show you something that my sister made for the wedding. And instead of cards on the table, tables where everyone was sitting at the reception with your name on them, so you knew where you were sitting, she made these. My sister is a ceramicist, and she made these beautiful hearts for everyone with their name on them instead of a name card. So everyone had one of these at their place on the table with their name on it, which is absolutely gorgeous. And then they got to take it home, and that was their little memento of the wedding. And if I can get some photos, there were like 3 photos of me for the entire wedding. I shouldn't have even bothered doing my hair. If I can get some photos from the wedding, I'll tack them onto the end of this video so you can see, because it was really beautiful. So that was another reason that it took so long between the last episode and the one before that, because I had a wedding in between there, not mine, my sister's, and we had relatives from overseas staying and things like that, so it was a really busy time. But we're getting back to normal now. But I've got some more FOs, ones I actually have here that haven't been stolen by dogs. So this one here is a little hat that I made, and I made it to wear to the Australian Sheep and Wool Show, and I've worn it a couple of times, but I think it might be a bit small. It's sort of, when I wear it, it creeps up, and I don't know if maybe it's a bit small, or if, because my hair's really straight, it's very sort of slippery, and hats do have a tendency to sort of slip around on my head, and because it is a little bit small, it just sort of slips up, and so it ends up just sort of sitting on top of my head like a, I don't know, like it's sort of balancing on top of my head. And if I pull it right down, then my fringe kind of gets sucked up into it, and that's really annoying. And also, I used Jamison, the Shetland sweater 2-ply. You know that's not what it's called. They might be some of the words in the title, but they don't go in that order. Help me. What is it called? The name will go down here when I figure it out. Good Lord. That's what I used here on the band, and it was all stashed yarn, or yarn from my stash, and that's what I used here, and it sits on my little ears here, and it is itchy as, and so I spend the entire time sort of like when I wear it, and so I don't know what to do with it. The rest of the yarns, which are all just stash yarns as well, are really, really soft, and they're really lovely. And I'm not entirely sure what to do with it. Like, it fits, and I can wear it, but I feel like I've got to constantly adjust it as I'm wearing it, and that's a pain. I just want to put it on and go. I just want to put it on and leave it. I don't want to have to play with it constantly. So I'm not sure what to do with it. I don't know if forcibly blocking it larger, it has already been blocked, but I don't know whether blocking it larger will help. I'm not entirely sure. It's been sitting folded in half, that's why it's got that fold in it. Have you made one of these? I think it's called the Nipid. You know, I'm never going to be able to say that name right. I'll put it out. I don't know what to do with it. because it's so itchy, it's itchy on me, and as I said earlier, I'm fine with itchy wool usually. Because it's so itchy, I don't think a child would wear it, so I don't think I can give it to anyone smaller than me. I don't know what to do with it. It's so beautiful, but somewhat unwearable. It's such a pain though. It was a joy to knit, absolute joy. I think it only took me, I think I knitted it in an evening. I don't think it was really quick, like really, really quick. I really love it. I love that little thing. It's adorable, and it actually looks really cute while I'm wearing it. Just, it doesn't feel very cute because I'm like, so what to do? If you've got any hot tips, I'd love them. Love to know. Now, my next FO. That one, sad. This one, excellent. This one, I'm gonna wear. This one, I finished also just in time to wear it to the Australian Sheep and Wool Show. And this one I did as a test crochet for Addie Day Designs, and this is her brioche mitts. Look at them, check them out. So these mitts, here's the other one, are crocheted, but it's a special type of crochet that is like brioche knitting. So it's very thick. I mean, I know you can't sort of get an idea of how thick they are through the screen, but it's got a double layer of fabric. This is the inside, and you can see it's got those horizontal stripes, and the outside's got the vertical stripes. And it's got this double layer of fabric. It is like brioche knitting, but it's crochet. Really easy pattern to follow, beautifully written like all Addie Day Designs patterns, straightforward, really quick to do, so instant satisfaction. Awesome if you need a quick, awesome gift for someone, and they are so cozy. Oh my god, they're so nice. And I love this. I don't know if you can see this gorgeous shaping here. Simple, beautiful, gorgeous. Love it. Really nice. Have no idea what the yarn is either, can't tell you. But I think I may have used, I think this one and this one are the same yarn. Maybe. It didn't have a label on it. It's just deep, deep stash. No idea what it is. But it's 4-ply and it's wool. Love it. Absolutely love it. So this pattern is actually available through Addie Day Designs on Ravelry. You can get that pattern, and she's now got a pattern for a matching cowl as well, and that looks amazing. I got to see that at the Australian Sheep and Wool Show in the flesh as well. Oh my god, it looks so good. I'm strongly considering making one. Really nice. I enjoyed making those so much. Oh. Do you know what would be really nice? If someone that isn't me made me big blanket out of that brioche stitch, and I could lay on top of it and fall asleep. It's so squishy. It would make a really nice mattress. This one's crochet. It's really nice. Yeah, I really, really like that. So that was a high success FO, low success FO. Can't win them all. So that is everything that I had to talk about in today's episode. So thank you so much for joining me. Oh wait, no, I lie. That is not everything I had to talk about. You may be wondering when I'm going to announce the winners for the pattern prizes of the June and July year-long stash busting craft along thread in the Ravelry group for the What Shara Made podcast. Well, I'm going to do it now. Well, not right now, because I'm going to draw the winners using the random number generator after I finish filming here. But you are the June pattern winner if you can see your name along the bottom of the screen now. So contact me on Ravelry, let me know the name of the pattern and the designer of any individual pattern on Ravelry, and I will send it to you as a gift on Ravelry right now. As soon as you contact me and let me know, I'll send it through to you. And the July winner is the person whose name is along the bottom of the screen right now. Congratulations, you are the winner of the July pattern for the year-long stash busting craft along. So those two people, congratulations, thank you so much. Sorry it took so long to draw those winners. I have been very busy. Thank you for your patience. And now it really is time for me to say goodbye. So thank you very much for everyone who's joined me today, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.